Assassin's Creed Revelations presents the most immersive experience available in the series to date in the culmination of Ezio's adventure. In Assassin's Creed Revelations, Master Assassin Ezio Auditore walks in the footsteps of his legendary mentor, Altair, on a journey of discovery and revelation. It is a perilous path, one that will take Ezio to Constantinople, the heart of the Ottoman Empire, where a growing army of Templars threatens to destabilize the region. In addition to Ezio's award-winning story, the acclaimed online multiplayer experience from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood returns, refined and expanded, with more modes, more maps and more characters that allow players to test their assassin skills against others from around the world. The latest chapter in the Assassin's Creed saga also includes revolutionary gameplay, allowing players to manipulate the construct of Desmond's memories and the Animus to decipher the mysteries of his past and gain insight into the future. Even the greatest heroes can't live forever, and so it goes for Ezio Auditore di Firenze, who finally steps aside to make room for new champions in Assassin's Creed Revelations. This is another quality entry in a quality series, and it unleashes you in a visually stunning recreation of 16th century Constantinople. Additions to the movement mechanics make exploring the city a joyous exercise in high-flying parkour, with you as Ezio leaping across rooftops and flinging yourself off exterior walls like a Renaissance superhero. Like many sequels, Revelations give it, and Revelations take it away, so you lose certain elements, horses, in favor of a slew of new ones, bomb crafting, lots and lots of new ones. Assassin's Creed Revelations is sometimes a lumpy Frankenstein's monster of a game, half-formed appendages stitched into place regardless of whether they belong there or not. Thankfully, when Revelations remembers to be an Assassin's Creed game, it soars into the Turkish skies, reminding fans why they fell in love with this freewheeling series. Expectedly, Revelations isn't all Ezio's story, it's also Desmond's. You remember Desmond, the bartender-cum-assassin whose mind is probed to discover truths that could potentially prevent the Earth's destruction. Desmond looks different than you might remember. Faces have been redesigned, features elongated, making your old comrades in conspiracy feel a bit unfamiliar, as if they have had plastic surgery since you saw them last. In any case, Desmond's mind is a prisoner within the Animus, the machine that allows his associates to tap into his ancestral memories. This computerized sanctuary is presented as an island, where shimmering doors leading to who knows where punctuate a virtual seaside. Here, Desmond and the enigmatic Subject 16 explore the bartender's memories and regrets in long conversations that illuminate Desmond's former life. In Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Desmond was becoming a full-fledged assassin, and you guided him through dank caves and across rooftops as a sort of Ezio light. The character arc matched the gameplay arc. Desmond was gaining confidence, and this was reflected in his ever-improving abilities. Revelations tries a more thoughtful approach but falls short. Subject 16 starts as a mystery and remains one, making for an unsatisfactory replacement for the team with which Desmond has typically interacted. Meanwhile, Desmond passes through those shining portals and into his own memories. These memory levels are made of great columns and tile floors that glisten and undulate like digital rivers. You move through them in first-person view while Desmond talks himself through the pain of his past. This synthetic cyberspace makes for an effective backdrop, but the accompanying gameplay is anything but fun. You create blocks and ramps out of thin air to pass through these levels, but moving across them feels flat, and jumping isn't exact. The flatness turns to frustration as you encounter gusts that move the blocks you create, and deal with energy fields that cause them to dissipate. These levels are one of Revelation's many attempts to force elements into a game that doesn't benefit from them. The good news is that you spend the bulk of your time as Ezio, though he isn't the only historical presence taking center stage. Altair from the original game returns as a playable character, and Revelations makes good use of the parallels between the heroes' lives, and scenes near the conclusion resonate with great emotion. Yes, there is a holy cow moment near the end, as expected for an Assassin's Creed game, and the final shot will have fans, once again, wondering what comes next. But it's the calm before the storm that ties two lives together and thus impresses most. There's a moment when you realize you will miss these assassins of centuries past. As for Ezio's story, well, the man is older and tired, and the story reflects this weariness. It introduces new characters, the best of whom is Sofia, an Italian bookseller who welcomes Ezio's formidable charms. But the main plot, involving political unrest among the Sultan and his family members, is merely serviceable, lacking the personal touch that made Assassin's Creed II's narrative so enthralling. Nevertheless, Revelations is as absorbing as its predecessors, because it's so much fun to move through Constantinople and other key areas. This is due in part to the world's sheer beauty. Deep golds and reds make us stroll through the Grand Bazaar, a feast for the eyes, and famous landmarks like Hagia Sophia cut striking silhouettes against the night sky. Row a boat across a strait, and you marvel at the authentic weight that ripples behind. On the PC, the smallest details are as impressive as the grand, sweeping vistas, the scars crisscrossing Ezio's weathered face, the finely crafted designs threaded across Yusuf's gauntlets, and the deep green ivy climbing the worn face of a domed mosque. These elements are uniformly impressive. At high resolutions, certain technical imperfections stand out more than they did on consoles, such as some object clipping and animation glitches. Some asynchronous sound effects can also prove distracting, but overall, Assassin's Creed Revelations' presentation is dazzling. The other reason exploration is so joyous is that the simple act of moving from place to place is so satisfying. Animations remain generally great. Ezio doesn't grab some unseen outcropping as he scales towers. He reaches for actual ledges and outcroppings, which makes his impossible acrobatics feel authentic. Climbing a tower reaching into the heavens, admiring the view, and then making a leap of faith into a hay bale hundreds of feet below is a delight, as it always has been. But Revelations expands the parkour aspect of the game by giving you use of a handheld hook. With this hook, Ezio can scale upward more quickly and glide down zip lines, and even assassinate rooftop guards as he schemes past. The hook also allows you to reach out and grab walls as you fall, walls that would be out of reach in previous Assassin's Creed games. You can also buy parachutes and activate them in midair, which feels free and easy, like wafting downward on a cool breeze. Revelations makes it more fun than ever to stay on the move. In fact, some of its best moments focus on fluid parkour, such as an atmospheric trek through a dank cave and an exhilarating escape from a flaming boat. The best set pieces are those that focus on movement. How unfortunate that other such events are less successful, and that the game leans on the lesser ones so early on. Avoiding rocks as you are dragged behind a careening carriage isn't fun, nor is bashing other carriages as you drive one. Another carriage-focused mission is more entertaining and has you activating a parachute and flying behind the vehicle as a sort of Renaissance-era parasailer. It's nice to have the variety in between long stretches of fighting guards and wandering among crowds, but earlier games simply did such diversions better. Not that Revelations doesn't try to mix up the pace, far from it. Like in Brotherhood, you can recruit assassins and send them off on contracts to such cities as Barcelona and Athens. This menu-based minigame works much as it did before, but there are two key improvements that make recruitment much more interesting now. Firstly, the contracts have been given context in the form of a strategic minigame. Completing contracts increases assassin influence and diminishes Templar presence. Your goal is to earn and retain control of those cities, which lends meaning to what used to be abstract busy work without real consequence. Secondly, once an assassin reaches a high enough level, you can assign him or her as a leader of a faction 10. Doing so opens up new missions in which you accompany recruits as they tail targets and attempt assassinations. Your newest brothers typically fail their missions on the first attempt but rise above such adversity later on. Before, you knew Ezio was a mentor because you were told he was. Now, you actually feel like you're making a difference. It's natural that developer Ubisoft Montreal would want to expand the previous game's mechanics, which felt like they belong because they were pertinent to the story, and to Ezio's leadership role. On the other hand, it's hard to know what to make of the brand new addition of tower defense to the mix. The Templars take over 4 Brotherhood's Borgias, controlling key areas and forcing you to kill their commanders so that you can light a signal fire and purchase nearby shops. But the Templars can regain control if you don't take the time to assassinate key figures or bribe heralds. This new twist on the notoriety concept doesn't require you to rip wanted posters off walls. To preserve control, you participate in a tower defense battle in which you place assassins on the rooftops above a single short alley and destroy the waves of soldiers that stampede in. You do all this from a single vantage point, earning morale, the mini-game's currency, as Templars fall, and using it to place blockades and assassins. Not only does the whole thing seem out of place, but it isn't enjoyable on its own terms. It's nice that you can shoot marauders from above as your fellow assassins take aim with bows or leap onto their targets from rooftops, but your limited view is confining, and the gameplay is too simple to lead to a rewarding victory. To make things even less fun, the camera occasionally zooms in for a close-up of a falling enemy or brother. This cinematic touch was probably meant to add excitement to this unexciting process, but it's just aggravating. All it does is disrupt the flow, as an infomercial host might say. But wait, there's more now. You can craft bombs out of ingredients that you find in chests and earn for completing contracts. It's a simple process. You just go to a crafting station, select the right ingredients, and voila, bombs. The bombs might spew poison into the air or simply explode as a good bomb should. They're nice.